Full disclaimer, what I'm about to tell you is going to sound insane, and in many ways, it is. So, recently, Fannie Mae did a survey and asked people, how do you feel about buying a house? 73% of people nationwide surveyed said it's a bad time to buy a house. 70% of them also said that they are not confident in the way the economy is going. Yet here in Southwest Florida, I'm going to show you this home that I just got into my 5th bidding war since September on for buyers. And like I've said, it's been uncharacteristically active this fall season here. I'm going to kind of go over what they found in the survey and how and if it applies to us in the Southwest Florida region and why. But this home right here, double lot pool home in Rotunda West, we actually had 2 buyers put offers in on it, and unfortunately neither of them won out. So it's pretty competitively priced for what it is. It came on the market. I saw it on Zillow. It was on Zillow for 2 days. It had a ton of views, a ton of saves, and I said, oh boy, this one's gonna move. So it did. So we had at least 3 offers that we knew about on the table, because I said we were 2 of them. And that sounds insane, doesn't it? When I'm telling you 73% of people feel like it's a bad time to buy a house. And then I'm also telling you this is what's happening in some situations on the ground. Now, like I said, very competitively priced. So they priced it well. But this is the 5th time since September that I've been caught in a situation like this. It's getting to be a little too common because people are getting pretty aggressive down here. So how do you rectify a statement like that in your mind when it comes to Southwest Florida? And my opinion is that's a nationwide stat. And what started here that I noticed 2 years ago and I felt was going to spread to the rest of the state and potentially the country, a lot of areas of the country, has happened. But Southwest Florida, Sarasota, Bradenton, Lee County, Collier, Charlotte, Rotunda West, where I am today, we've been here for 2 years. We're 2 years into this at this point. So a little ahead of the curve. We were the first to start going down, but that also means we're well underway in what some areas are just now seeing as far as slowdowns, days on market, and all the stuff that we're seeing from national markets slowing down happened here too. It wasn't a quick thing. It was gradual. All of a sudden, there seemed to be more homes for sale and stuff was taking longer to sell. And everybody was telling you, it's fine, don't worry about it. It's never coming down. And then all of a sudden, price cuts started happening. And then we had hurricanes, and then neighbors got nervous and undercut one another. Now, a lot of other places in the country don't have the severe weather issues we have here. Some do. But, we were kind of the leader nationwide. It was like us in Texas and really only certain parts of Texas. So I don't know what that means for the area. I will tell you, I am starting to see a strong uptick in listings probably within the past 2 weeks again. So we are putting about 100 more homes on the market per 7 days on the NLS than we are selling currently. And there's hundreds of price declines along with that. But if we keep doing that, just in a month, on average, you're saying we're putting 400 more homes on the market than we're taking off. Now, that's from Venice to Punta Gorda, so it's going to differ in a lot of areas drastically, but that's what I'm seeing on my area of the MLS that I tend to focus on. I look at it every day just to see what's going on. So I want to dive into what people are feeling in this Fannie Mae survey as well. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so this is the Home Purchase Sentiment Index, September 2025 from Fannie Mae, as you can see. Actually up slightly. It was very bad in September of 2022, falling below 60. This is the Home Purchase Sentiment Index. Now we'll get into what that is. It's these separate components, and they break out 6 of these things. So 2 out of the 6 components decreased this month. So this is an aggregated score that they then come to this conclusion on what the home purchasing sentiment is. But what I focused on in the beginning was the buying conditions. 73% of people felt like it is a bad time to buy. It's kind of funny because 57% of sellers feel like it's a good time to sell. A bit of a contradiction there because it can't be both no matter what any real estate agent tells you. Always a good time to buy, always a good time to sell. Uh, Interesting. So this is the outlook on mortgage rates here. 32% believe they're going to go down and 30% believe they're going to go up. Kind of a tie situation there. Job loss concerns. Very surprising. 75% not concerned with losing their job and 25% are concerned with losing their job. So that's kind of interesting. Change in household income. People feel predominantly that their income is going to be significantly higher, 14% as opposed to 8% significantly lower. So as we showed on that chart, home sentiment is kind of all over the place. The low of the past 12 months was March, surprisingly, of this year. We did fairly well here in March. Percent of respondents who say it is a good or bad time to buy. This is interesting because last September, 81% felt it was a bad time to buy. That's down to 73. So it's actually kind of dropped over the past 12 months, where 24 was viewed as a very, very bad time to buy. No one really felt like that was a good buying period, even though I think some people got some pretty good deals here. Again, this is nationwide, so it's going to vary extremely. There's going to be a lot of play in those numbers depending on where you're looking. Now, the seller's response is going in the exact opposite direction. No surprise, kind of just decreasing. Sellers just not feeling good in the past 12 months, and buyers are feeling good. So that matches up there. Let's see who thinks home prices will go up. So September, 39% of people thought home prices would still increase. That's actually up to 40 now. Wow, got up to 46% in July. Interesting. And then we've got 30% straight through thinking that they're going to stay the same. So now they got some interesting stuff for rental prices and if you would buy or rent when you were moving. I really like these stats. So seems like most people think rent is going to keep going up, 64% saying it's going to go up, 8% saying it's going to go down. But the percentage of respondents who say they would buy or rent if they were going to move, pretty standard still, actually. And this is a fixture that people kind of get locked into. Some people just are adamantly against renting. So about 33% of people would rent first, and the majority are going to buy, it looks like. I'm the opposite. I would prefer to move somewhere and rent, and that's what I've done historically over the years. But I'm obviously in the minority here, at least for September. And if you go through the whole chart, it's pretty standard. It's about 60 to 70% of people are going to buy if they move, and only 30% will rent, which further begs the question, why are they building all of these rental units? And looking at the percent of respondents who think the economy's on the right or wrong track, again, still pretty standard, hovering about 65 to 70. For the past year, people have felt it's been on the wrong track, but still they are optimistic, more optimistic about buying, surprisingly. And the same here for people who think things are going just fine. Link in the description, guys, if you want to check out all this data on your own. So interesting numbers going on there. We're going to see how things shake out once we get in season here, but listings are ticking up. I also want to cover the mortgage boom that we just saw, or mortgage refi boom, as one article is indicating. Very interesting stuff here that kind of shows it wasn't people, mortgage rates dropped recently and applications surged. It wasn't people purchasing homes. It was what we questioned. It was a lot of refis. It was a lot of cash outs. So, and some commenters in the mortgage industry kind of confirmed that as well. But this article, and I'll link it in the description, is basically stating it was mostly refi activity for people who had purchased in the last 3 years. And you have to wonder, how much were they really saving? I mean, if I've seen customers over 7, so if the rate goes down to 6.3, maybe that makes sense. But 22, 23, 24, you can get a 5 and change rate, maybe in the middle 6s, depends on credit. So interesting to see that is what it was. A lot of cash outs, and 90% of all rate and term refinancing were for loans originated in 23 and 24, according to this article. Trying to read these notes off the stroller again today, guys. We got my co-pilot. What's up, boss? He's hanging tough, but does make it hard to push and read. This thing's very squirrely. What I found really interesting was in the second quarter, the average cash out took a rate increase of 1.45%, or an average of $94,000, raising their monthly payments by $590 a month compared to this. So you have a lot of people that are using these rates to pay off credit card loans, personal loans, all kinds of different things. I mean, credit cards are like 26, 27% interest now. So if you have some equity in your house, 6.3% don't sound so bad to pay that off. So I kind of understand that move, but it was shocking to see that was predominantly the mortgage activity. And we did suspect that, but now for somebody to quantify it, I think is very useful. So the article goes on to state that last September, a similar drop in mortgage rates happened. Mortgage rates dropped to 6.08%. And a lot of people, they're saying, didn't take advantage of it because they thought it was going to go lower. So now, when it went to 6.26% this September, all these people jumped in because they didn't want to miss the boat again. And potentially they go lower. I have no idea. But they also state that people who refinanced in the second quarter saw their debt to income ratios drop to 34%. That's the lowest level since 2022. And 34% debt to income is not bad. If you were up 40, 50, close to 50, and you could get down to 34, that's going to make a huge difference in your monthly expenses. Basically, your cost of living and your lifestyle choices. Now, based on their calculations at current mortgage rates, 3.1 million homeowners have the opportunity to drop their interest rate by 0.75%. That would save them $400 a month on average. So when you see a small movement like that, but it's 3.1 million homeowners could potentially open up $400 a month that they didn't have, makes a little more sense to me why you're going to do that. I don't know what kind of interest rates they had to see that kind of savings getting down to 6.26. Last year I did see one person go in the 8s. I saw one person get a home loan at 8%. So, at that point, makes sense, but I don't know how prevalent that is. And I've had people ask me, is it homeowners that had teaser intro rates? I don't think so. When the buy downs, the 2-1 buy downs where you get, your rate bought down for 2 years, then it readjusts in the final, most of them that I saw, even currently, stopped at around 6.5. So if they were going to 6.5, I don't think that makes sense to refinance because you knew all along that is what it was going to. Are there probably some adjustable rates in there? Maybe. They're just kind of getting popular again. I'm just seeing adjustable rate mortgages come back out. 7-year ARMs, some people are promoting. So I'm not sure it's the 2-1 buy down people. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. If you like this video, give me a like, share, subscribe, and we will see you next time.